Hey everybody, I'm Sierra,
And I'm Ben.
and welcome back to another episode of The Unsolved Couple, where every week Ben and I recap one of your original gateway drugs into true crime.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Still getting used to this intimate environment that we're in.
Don't use that word in a podcast form.
If you guys don't follow me on social media, I did have a little bit of a geek out fangirl moment this last weekend.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you got to tell the story.
Okay, so my friend and I went out this weekend, and we always enjoy going down to Hotel Congress. And if you've been to Tucson, it's kind of this iconic spot there. It's supposedly haunted. It's an old hotel, like Billy the Kid. Like, I don't remember several outlaw, not Billy the Kid. Why can't I think of the guy's name? Earp.
Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp, I think, stayed. Like, it's all of these like old Western story and
I
different
do
things.
think an outlaw stayed there. I don't know if it was Billy the
Yeah.
Kid or Jesse James.
Someone stayed there. Anyways, we went to a seance there one time, which just actually ended up being a magic show
It
dressed
wasn't.
up like a seance.
Yeah, it was. It was all tricks.
Yeah. But that's the whole vibe of the place. It's very art deco. And they were hosting like a 1930s night. And we were unaware of this when we showed up, but there's like a place called the Tap Room, and they do like live jazz music and stuff. Anyways, we walked in, and there was a group of older gentlemen when we got in there that were all dressed up like 1930s, like hats, trench coats, vest, everything. But I turned to a guy and I said, "Your whole like outfit and look and everything you have going on right now is very Robert Stacks."
John Dillinger was caught at Hotel Congress.
That's what it was.
In
Okay.
1934.
Thank you. Yeah. And so his buddy that was also standing there, was like 3 or 4 men standing there. They started laughing, and I was like, "Dude, would you guys know who Robert Stacks is, right? Like, you know what Unsolved Mysteries is?" And they were like, "Yeah, um, he was actually an extra in some of, because a handful of episodes were filmed here locally in Tucson area in the desert and stuff."
Well, we've had multiple. We've had
Mhm.
some around the Tombstone
Yeah.
area. Yeah,
Yeah.
multiple in
And so
Arizona.
it sounds like he was saying he'd played a few small extras on a few of them, but he landed a main role in the Skull Canyon Treasure. And he was like the main guy that double crossed the Mexican, because this happened like in Mexico, right? And these guys were on donkeys, and he like was in Mexico because he could
Yeah,
speak
we've told this
Spanish.
story.
Anyways, he was the main guy in that. And you guys, when I tell you that I was like a giggly and fangirling over this man for way too long, like even an hour later, I'm like telling strangers that I'm meeting in town that I met someone who was an extra on Unsolved Mysteries. And my friend was like, "I've never seen you like this before." I've met a handful of celebrities and people of notoriety in real life and never once asked to take a picture with them. I'm usually like, I don't care. But this guy, like, I wanted to hang out with him for the rest of the night.
All because he was connected to the dumbest show ever made, Unsolved
That's how
Mysteries.
deep my love for this show goes. Okay,
That's
we've talked long enough, so let's get into it. If you're joining Unsolved Couple and finding yourself deep down these rabbit holes with Ben and I, we have a tiny favor that makes a huge difference. We're a small independent podcast, no network, no safety net, just us, the mysteries, and you guys, our dear listeners. If you haven't yet, please consider following us on all social medias, liking, sharing, and commenting on our posts. And then, most importantly, leaving us a 5-star rating and review wherever you listen. Those ratings and review and interacting with us on social media helps prompt all of the AI algorithms that our content is worth hearing and seeing. It helps us find new listeners and new followers. And for every follow and every share and every kind word, this truly means the world to us and keeps our little show alive and growing. We couldn't do without you. It truly means that, like from the bottom of our hearts, for listening, supporting, and thank you so much for being a part of the Unsolved Couple community. Okay, so we have 4 stories for you guys today. We are recapping season 4, episode 7. Um, Ben, we'll just follow, I guess, the way they did in Unsolved Mysteries, which means you're going to be first up tonight or
I
today.
thought maybe we could start with a ghost story and end with a ghost
Okay,
story.
that's fair. All right, you start with the ghost story, and then
Oh, you
I
want me to
will
go
do our
first?
missing person. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, because yours is a lot.
Mine's a lot. We'll end on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Take it away.
Oh, God. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I gotta get my notes up.
You guys, every time. I'm
I'm
going to make a
just.
t shirt for Ben. Our hashtag for his part of the podcast is, oh, wait, hold on. Let me get my notes.
I'm just here for the show, man. I'm just
Wait, it's my turn.
trucking
Let me
along.
get my notes.
I'm just trucking along, just flying by the seat of my. As you guys can probably
By
already
the,
tell,
the
the way I
seat.
tell it, I just start meandering and talking aimlessly. And Sierra actually has a script.
I do.
If this ever went professional, they would say, "Listen, you got to cut that guy."
No, they would not. You are what makes the show. You're the
They would be
backbone.
like, "That guy's got to go. He clearly doesn't know what he's doing, and clearly doesn't have a love
Do you
for
have your notes
this."
up yet?
I did. No, close. Okay. All right. Are you ready for this?
I'm
Golly,
ready.
I've been
I
waiting.
love ghost
I'm waiting
stories.
for you. I've been waiting for you. All right. This is the ghost story of St. James Hotel in Cimarron, New Mexico. Cimarron. Cimarron.
Do you need to roll your R with that from New Mexico?
Probably.
Cimarron. No, that's definitely not it.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. So this hotel, it was supposedly built in 1880, way back when in the Wild Wild West. And it is very well known for having had a lot of famous people stay there. People like Jesse James, Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday. And I did read somewhere even possibly Billy the Kid there. But Billy the Kid, I think, died in
Well, I
1881.
think
So
between New Mexico, Tombstone, Tucson, Arizona,
So I've listened to a couple
this
podcasts
whole, they're
about
all very
New
connected.
Mexico. A lot happened in New
Mhm.
Mexico in the Wild West. So, anyways, so this had been a hotel back in the day. It was very well known for its entertainment and its ladies. Did you catch that?
Immediately, that's the first thing I caught because
Yeah.
growing up, anytime I saw a Western, and now as an adult, I know what these girls were employed to do. But in the Westerns, they always had the most adorable outfits. They had the cute little, like, onesie almost kind of things with like ruffles and feathers and everything. I wanted to be a showgirl in those movies.
Yeah. And then you found out what
And then
they
I grew up
actually
and found out what it was and was like, oh no, I do not want
they're
to be.
sitting there with the guys as they're playing poker,
Yeah,
and yelling
which
at each
looks
other.
really fun, but I didn't understand. I bet the dark history behind those girls is wild. But yeah,
Yeah.
they did note that like it had a reputation for the women that worked there.
Yeah. And it's music and all that good stuff. So, anyways, I guess this place had been kind of run down. So we get Ed and Patricia Sitzberger, and they purchase it in 1985, and they start refurbishing it, and they want to get it back to its old glory, which is pretty awesome.
This is even before Chip and Joanne.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this is like old style flip houses.
yeah.
Because you and I have driven up and down between here and Utah. There's several like back highways, and there's a couple of old, abandoned, or at least empty, like roadside hotels that looked like at one point
There's
because it
that
was off
one.
Route 66 area.
There's that one, and you just as you
Every
cross into
time I
Utah,
drive by it, I'm like, I want.
it's an old hotel. It looks, I'm pretty sure it's
It only looks
abandoned.
like there's maybe 14 to 16. Like it's
Yeah,
very small.
it's pretty cool.
I was like, Ben, we can buy that. We can turn one of the rooms into our podcasting room, and the rest we can renovate and rent it. I had all. That's what
You've
we
got
spent
all
like
these
our entire rest
ideas.
of our
And
road
if we
trip.
had endless amounts of money, we could do it. I'm here for it. I just need that bank account.
Just need it, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where it is,
And we need
but
more people to want to go on road trips.
yeah,
And when they go, we'll say we've got an entire podcast to entertain you on your road trip,
on your road
and
trip.
you can stop in and see us at our hotel.
Yeah. But that's not this hotel. Okay. So they start renovating it. So one night it's raining. Okay. And Patricia, and we get, if you notice, you know how I'm a stiffler for details,
A stifler or a stickler? Because
whatever.
Stifler is the name of the mom
I said
from American
stickler.
Pie. No, you said Stifler. You
Oh,
said I'm a Stifler, and I was like, "Oh, we got American Pie reference going on here."
well,
Stifler's mom,
that's where your mind
but
went.
you're a stickler.
Whatever. So she says she went there with a friend. It's raining, and they want to find out how many leaks they've got in this roof. And in the reenactment, they've got a lot. There's a lot of buckets along the hallway.
Maybe roof repairs weren't as expensive back then when they are now, or water damage wasn't as big of a deal,
Uh,
but I'd be freaking
yeah, if I
out.
had that many leaks, I'd be thinking we just bought a lemon.
Yeah, no
Anyway,
kidding.
so she's walking through the halls with her friend, supposedly, and they get to the end of the hall
I
on
would
like
just
the
like to note
second
that you
floor.
keep saying everything is supposedly
Well, because
because you're
later
the
when,
biggest skeptic ever.
yeah, but when they're outside, then she says she's with her husband. And then
Oh.
he comes in, and so I'm like, "Well, who was
You
it?
guys, it's
Was it
good
your
thing
friend
Ben's
or
here
was it your
because I'm
husband?"
instantly hook, line, and sinker like,
"Oh, I got major problems with yours. The timeline is jacked all
oh,
up."
yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But okay, I think you've already said supposedly like 3 or 4 times.
Okay, I
Okay.
won't say that word ever again.
No.
All right. So at the end of the hall, supposedly on the second floor, there's a chandelier. She turns it off. And it's one of those where you pull the line, at least that's what it looks like, and it click, it goes off. She gets outside, they look up, and they can see in the window it's back on. So they go back inside, turn it off, go back out, look up, it's on again. She goes back inside, and this time she's annoyed, right? So she says, I- she just blurts out into the ether. Listen,
Okay, Ben is not giving this story justice. The first time she assumed that maybe she missed a light. The second time she's assuming this is an old building, maybe the electricity is funky. So she double like goes in there, waits a second or two, and then leaves. And then the third or fourth time she comes back with the light on. She said that the former owner had told her that sometimes the ghosts like to be a little bit silly, like to do some practical jokes.
she just says the
And
former owner
so
said there was some weird stuff that happened in this place.
but she tells her, like, sometimes you just have to tell the ghost, like, "Okay, thank
That's not
you."
what she says. She just says the former owner said that there's some
She
weird things.
got that
That's it.
idea from the former
So
owner.
she just stands there and says, "Listen, I'm tired. I want to go home. I don't want to play any games. I don't want to play right now. We can play later." And then turns the light off. And when they go outside, guess what? It was still off. So she talked to the ghost and he understood. He said, "Playtime is later." Okay. That's your chandelier. Then,
Sandalier?
chandelier. What?
You said sandalier.
Okay. But everyone knows what I'm saying.
I'm just love but I am loving ghost stories, and so the fact I'm here for it.
So then they get told from some guests in room 17 that when the window was open, they heard fast paced tapping. But when they closed the window, it stopped. So, okay. I guess it came from inside. It could not have been a sound from outside. So then we get told there was a kitchen staff. Um, they don't say it, but in the reenactment, there's just a glass floating there, just floating, you
Yeah,
know.
the kid that was interviewed was adorable,
Not that
though.
kid. This
Oh,
is
this
this
is
is
a
the
different
kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
They never tell you the specifics of this story. They just say
Okay.
that the kitchen staff saw something weird. So then we do get a crazy story in 1988. There is a high school student. He's there working and he's cleaning the bar and it's at 5 a.m. So no one's supposed to be there. He's just cleaning it, sweeping it, and he says he goes out to get liners for the garbage bags. Comes back in, and he sees a kid sitting on the bar spinning a glass with what looks like his finger. Like he's got his finger in the glass, he's spinning it around. So he sees this kid, like, and I mean, I'm guessing it's a hotel. So he thought a kid had come down from the room and was hanging out in the bar, and he wasn't supposed to be there because the bar's not open. So he goes to tell the kid, hey, listen, you can't be here. You need to go back. And as he does that, the kid turns. And in the reenactment, his face is blue and it's all jacked up. He says he was hideous. He was ugly. And it terrified him to the point where the kid runs out of the room and says he quit that day. It's like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I'd quit too.
So that's the most credible story.
Hmm.
I believe that kid. That kid looked, even in the interview, he looked scared.
He looked freaked out to be having this
Yeah.
conversation.
He's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be
He's
telling
like,
this
I don't
story.
remember this story. I don't want to relive this at all.
So, so Patricia, the owner, this doctor, Kenneth Wright, who is a amateur, we get told, amateur.
You guys, he's an MD, so he is a doctor, but he's not like a
We don't really know
doctor.
what he's a doctor
I
in.
look, yeah, but he's not. When they say doctor and then say what he's there for, you think, oh, maybe as a doc, because we've had a lady that had some weird doctor in like mythology or whatever.
You remember that one psychic that was
Yeah.
given? She said she was just given it because she didn't even have to go
Oh
to
yeah,
the
that's
school because she was so.
so talented. They just
Yeah.
gave her the credentials
Yeah.
without the education.
Harvard called and said, I'm so talented. I could just have a Harvard degree.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I wanted to clarify. He's not a doctorate of
They
anything
were
to.
pretty clear in it.
Yeah, but that's why I'm being clear to our listeners because they're not watching Unsolved Mysteries with us. They're listening to the recap of it. He's not a doctor of history or a doctor of art.
I
Like,
think they said he was a medicine doctor. They're very
yeah,
brief about it, but they make it very clear. He's an amateur ghost hunter. Okay. And I guess, here's the thing, everyone's got to have their
everyone's got to have
hobbies,
a hobby.
right?
Yeah,
Like some people watch the dumbest show and retell it, you know?
I like my hobby. So,
So he's an amateur ghost hunter. So he comes in and they start investigating these hauntings. And they go into room 18. Okay. And they go in, and in the corner is this white mist thing. They have a hard time explaining it. It's this mist thing. It's rolling
well, by the
around.
reenactment, it's very clear what it is.
What?
The reenactment was so crystal clear
Okay.
of this ball of glowing light, and the tech that was used to
It was
recreate
awesome.
that was 10 out of 10.
Yeah. There in the corner is a glowing ball of white mist, circling mist, cloudy thing. And she says she was really scared. Dr. Wright says it was the scaredest he's ever been. But Patricia says, I don't think so. She walks up to that ball of mist, that orb, and she says, you know what, Napoleon? You can leave. Okay, she didn't say that, but she did say, listen, you're free to go. You don't have to be here anymore. Go ahead, just go. And they got this sense from this ball of mist that he didn't want to go anywhere. He's there to stay, and that this room, room 18, it's his. Don't be messing with him. So they left and they got scared. So Jackie Littlejohn, that is her name. She's a psychic. She investigated the hotel. Okay. She comes in. She tells us instantly, listen, I felt a lot of violence. I felt a lot of anger in this place. She's interviewed on here.
Well, yeah,
And
because the Wild West was known to not be any of those things.
yeah, especially New Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Um, she tells that she gets this psychic reading that there was a card game, a poker game going on, and a man by the name of TJ Wright was winning, and he won the hotel in a card game. And when he went out into the hall, the owner of the hotel at the time shot and killed him. And he like crawled back into the
Pew
room,
pew.
crawled back into his room, room 18, and died there. So that's what she said. So they go back into the records. They supposedly have yeah, I use that word a lot. Um, what's record keeping book, you know?
A logbook?
A ledger. So the owner says he goes back, and sure enough, in 1881, a man by the name of TJ Wright stayed in that hotel 3 times. We don't know if he actually was the owner and if he was shot
Was there
and
any
killed
record of
there.
his death?
Nah,
No.
nah, we don't know. So, all right, that's your story.
Okay.
So Robert Stack comes back, tells us it's a haunted. We don't know what's going on. This is crazy. Maybe
Mhm.
we'll never know.
Okay. What do you an update?
Update.
What do we got?
We're pretty much in the same boat we're in now.
It's
To
still
this,
is it still there?
yeah. So it's still there. Room 18 is still not. They've left it be, and
They
they
don't let
don't
people rent.
check. They do not let people stay in it, is what I could read.
Shut up. Okay. If anyone knows anyone who owns that hotel or has a thing in
So
it,
I read one
can we
article.
please hook up the unsolved couple so that you and I can go stay in room 18 and
No.
do a podcast from there?
Um, So I read one article that it was closing in 2024, but then when I like looked it up, you could make reservations
Oh,
there.
okay. What's the
So
hotel called again?
the St. James
The St. James.
Hotel
Where's it at?
in New
Oh,
Mexico,
that weird town that we couldn't pronounce.
Cimarron, New Mexico.
Cimarron?
Yeah, I mean it looks cool.
I bet it is.
I mean it looks
It's an
nice.
old hotel.
So just to this day, the best part is now when you read about it,
Mm-hmm.
they tell the story of this TJ Wright like it happened. And I have a massive problem with that
Okay.
because this story was just popped out of thin air by a psychic, supposedly, that walked through the halls and said, I know what happened here. This guy was shot and killed. I'm sorry, what? And now that has like gone
It
on.
now
It's lived
it's
in
the lure of
infamy.
the hotel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for it. He did stay there a few times. There's evidence that
You know
there's
what? I could probably find a DB Cooper on their log books too.
we already solved the DB Cooper case.
I'm just
It
saying,
was the guy from Canada who abandoned his family. All right. Do you have any? I'm sure we know what your personal thoughts are. Here's the thing, though, you guys. You do believe in hauntings and ghosts.
well, I've said like
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So
I
when you hear
believe
things
spirits
like
live
this,
on.
these orbs and that kid story, like, do you believe there is something at that hotel that is somehow attracting these things, or do you think that it's more people are opening up their imagination because the seed has already been planted?
Here's here's my problem. Here's my problem with the whole story from the beginning. And this
Okay.
is why I like the chandelier story, okay,
Mm-hmm.
of her turning it off and that. Again, and I've said this multiple times. This these people had just bought in a hotel that has now at that time is 100 years old. Now it's almost 150 years old. Okay? But at the time it's 100 years old and it's in disrepair. And this chandelier keeps coming on and off. And what is the first thing she jumps to? That night, I understand that it was 3 times, but that night, the first thing she does is speak out into the ether that there's a ghost there.
Mhm.
So that is so my the reason I'm saying this, that was the conclusion that everyone went to ghosts almost instantly. That lady literally thinks this house that has leaks, all kinds of things that has been run down, it appears, or at least the way they're telling it,
Mhm.
hasn't been open forever. So you're telling me there could be no other problems with this hotel, and the only reason that that chandelier could keep coming on and off is because of ghost. I was like, man, that was really quick to jump to a ghost, real quick. I would have been like, there's got to be something going on, either with this light fixture that's probably really, really old, electricity, wiring, all kinds of stuff. There could be so many other answers, but instead, I'm just going to speak to a ghost. And once you start doing that, then that's going to be your conclusion. That's going to be your go to for any other weird thing that happens in the hotel. Like I told you,
Do
the
you think
kid,
the hotel is haunted?
I don't know, maybe. I have no idea.
Could have been.
Could have been. Could be.
But the kid story you find like
That one I
that you'll
actually
put
found the
some
most
weight
credible.
behind
Like
it.
that kid, and for someone to see something to the point where they go, I'm done and I'm out,
Yeah.
and just say, I quit.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because I'm gonna guess there's a lot of Native American people that live around this area. He appeared that he looked like
He
that
was
might have
either
been
Native American or
of Hispanic origin or something.
Hispanic.
And my understanding of those cultures is that superstition and spirits and different things like that are very intertwined with their daily, day to day, potentially even faith beliefs. And they have both good and bad representation. So a lot of times they don't mess with that kind of stuff.
I agree. And that's why I say, and it'd be one thing if he said, listen, all of a sudden 5 glasses fell off the shelf and that freaked me out so bad I quit. I'd be like, all right, man, there could be a lot of things
Hmm.
other that happen from 5 glasses.
Yeah.
But he literally said he saw he saw something of
He
human form.
Yeah, he thought he was interacting with a human when he saw that kid up on the bar.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
he said the kid jumped down off the bar and disappeared.
Yeah.
So he saw something more than just a levitating glass
Mhm.
or an orb or a chandelier turning on and off.
Yeah.
So I'll at least give that kid here's the thing, I'll give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I definitely believe this lady had a chandelier turn on and off. 100%. I believe that people heard tapping. The orb in the room, I don't know, but I guess at the end of the day, there's 2 people that are telling the same story.
Yeah.
So you have 2 witnesses telling the
Yeah,
same
fair.
thing that they saw. So maybe
Yeah.
100%. It very well could be haunted.
Do you want to form an alliance with me?
Okay, what's the
We
alliance?
can be amateur ghost hunters.
I think
Do you want to form a ghost hunting alliance
here's the
with
thing.
me?
I actually think we could do well hunting ghosts because you would just buy any tapping as a ghost. 100%.
Mhm.
Hook, line, and sinker. Sierra's like, that's Jack Frost. Like, that's Jack from 1955. I read this story. I heard this
Mhm.
podcast, and he was murdered
Yep.
100 miles
Huh.
away, but he was coming in this direction, and so that's him.
Yeah.
And I would be like, absolutely not. That was the trusses
Mhm.
squeaking,
Yeah.
and
I will
maybe
say
the truth would be somewhere in the
in the
middle.
middle, it is very interesting the trusses. So growing up in Oregon in an older house where it sits on a crawl space, houses move.
Yeah,
But here in Arizona, they're on slabs.
concrete slabs.
They don't move.
Mm-mm.
So you don't hear creaking sounds in houses anymore. My whole life I grew up hearing
Yeah,
the
your
house
your
move and
house
creak.
creaked, moved, and
Yeah.
did all
And
kinds of things.
your houses are silent here. Yeah. I don't know. All right. Well, we'll add amateur goat. We're gonna call it the Formed Alliance of Ghost Hunters, of Amateur Ghost Hunters Society. Because right, isn't that we can form any society? Basically, we learned that also from Unsolved Mysteries. Anyone can have a society.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. Maybe
society
we'll
of
make some merch shirts that are.
I'm a society of shh, leave me alone.
All right. Well, we're gonna bounce over to a missing persons case. Um, so this we're gonna do a little bit of a left turn here and kind of get us serious for a minute. This is a story about a woman named Mary Ann Perez. On March 25th in 1976, 33-year-old Mary Ann of Clemensdent, Louisiana, said goodbye to her teenage daughter, Donna. Donna had agreed to babysit her younger siblings so that her mom, Mary Ann, could go out with one of her girlfriends. She told Donna that she'd give her a call and check in between 10 and 11, and she, in fact, did. Around between that time, she called in to see how the kids were doing and said that she was going to be heading home shortly. Um, and so, of course, her daughter, um, Donna, decides to go to bed. And her daughter is asleep in her bedroom, and the phone rings around 1:30 in the morning. And Donna answers it kind of in like a state of confusion. And a woman who named herself as Dorothy claimed to be a friend of Mary Ann and said that Mary Ann was having car trouble but would be home soon and hung up on the daughter. Um, and it was she said almost immediately, like the daughter, at least per the reenactment, was really confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's happening? And we actually like then Marianne's brother Wayne pops on onto Unsolved Mysteries and said that that was weird because Mary Ann had a car that was practically brand new and didn't have any problems with it. And it like instantly there's red flags kind of going up. And so the conclusion of this is basically that in the morning, the mom's not home.
This is a terrible story.
It is a terrible story. So her family soon discovers that she had actually gone to meet a friend, a female friend. So she is really meeting with just one of her girlfriends. They were meeting at a country western club on the outskirts of New Orleans. It's crazy to watch this because me and my girlfriends, we have a country western bar here in Tucson that like that is where we go to because in our honest opinions, it's one of what I would consider like the safest place for a group of women to hang out, right? It's live music, it's a bunch of cowboys, it's a fun time. But so she goes with her friend to meet her there and but in the morning her car is still parked outside the bar. So the New Orleans police show up, they inspect it, they see no evidence of car trouble, and in fact the car is running in perfect condition.
Well, and I think her purse was in it
Yeah.
too.
Well, no, no, no.
Oh, no, you're
No,
right.
no,
No,
no.
sorry.
Yeah, not
I was
yet.
I'm thinking of a different one.
Different one. But again, they're stumped. Like they have this mom, and she must have been a single mom. They don't say this specifically, but there doesn't seem to be a husband or a father. And
The kids say they make a mention of their dad later, but
yeah,
it appears they were being raised
yeah.
by their mom.
And at the time, so I don't know if people assumed like, oh, maybe this was an overworked, overburdened mom, and she left. But immediately the family is like, no, she was a good happy, involved mom. This isn't making sense. And then 3 days later, her purse was found, had been weighed down with a brick, and it had been dumped in the lake. So
I mean, that right there
there
pretty
you
much
like,
tells
yeah.
you what
And so
happened.
you can tell like something's going on. So originally, like they start searching, but there's nothing to go on. There was no surveillance back then. Like I
There's
read
no
letter, like, they
witness?
talked to the friend, they both left the bar shortly after she called her children, like, she only lived, several miles away, like, this is not making like, there's nothing to go on. So, 9 years go by, and the family waits and waits, not knowing if this woman is dead or alive. And in 1985, a New Orleans Police Department detective, Bob Lambert, um, questions a man in Davis County. Okay. He and his wife, Donna, had confessed to a multi state killing spree.
Have you heard of this guy before?
No, I hadn't heard of this guy
This
before.
guy and his wife are
This seems so. I've always wondered sometimes, like, Bonnie and Clyde is probably the easy example that most people understand. Like, how is it that two horrible human beings find each other and then form this weird toxic love relationship or whatever, where they actually then go on to do like more terrible things together? There was a married couple in England that was luring children away and killing them. Like, just like it's Fred and Rose West, I think. Like, how do these people find each other? It's awful. But yeah, this man confesses to a multi-state killing spree, and one of the victims had some similarities with Mary Ann. So he tells Lambert that he thinks on that night he was driving down the highway and he did pull into what he believed was a country western bar. And in the parking lot, he noticed a woman who may appear to have been a little intoxicated as she walked to her car. And he said that he was going to pick Donna up at work and offer to drive Mary Ann home. So his wife's not with him at first, right? But then he says that she refuses, saying that she lived, on the other side of town. However, he said he also lived out that way and it was not going to be any trouble. And so she accepted the ride and willingly gets into the vehicle. This is according to the guy that's, or like,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, he can say that's how it went
So
down,
then
but
David says that he went and then picked up his wife, Donna, and then they went to, they didn't take her home or to her home. They took her to their trailer. And he said that Mary Ann fell asleep on a chair and Donna tried to make sexual advances towards her, which then she woke up, became irate and upset about what was happening. And they agreed, okay, fine, fine, fine. We'll just take you home. While Donna drove, David sat in the back with Mary Ann and he told Lambert that he had already killed once and he was afraid that Mary Ann was going to go to the police because now she knew where he lived. So we've got this couple, we got a man that picks up a woman in a parking lot. According to him, she willingly gets into the car. He picks up his wife, then they take her back to this trailer where she falls asleep and they attempt to assault her. And then they say, okay, never mind, get in the car. But he insists on sitting in the back with her. The wife drives the vehicle. And now he's worried that she's going to be able to tell the police where he lives.
well, and he says she's gonna be able to ID me.
Yeah.
So
And
what is
so they tell her, we're going to take you home. She does start to realize, at least according to him, that this woman figures out they're not going home
yeah, mind you, this whole story is from
from
his.
his point of view. So then he strangles her. He and Donna then dump her body near the Louisiana/Mississippi border and made really no attempts to hide anything. Lambert claims that he's certain that Marion was the victim that they had described. Oh, the Lambert he's the detective, becomes certain that Marianne is the victim, right?
Well, he says, I mean,
Yeah, he
everything he's
shows
saying is
David a picture
matching.
of her, and David's like, "Yeah, maybe I think that's her." Um, and then he shows him a picture of her car, and he's like, "Yeah, that was the car." So Lambert next questions Donna, the wife, and asks her about Marianne's purse. She confirmed that she had thrown it over the bridge after putting a brick in it when they drove across the bridge. After the confession, Mary Ann's husband told their children that she had passed away, she was dead, and they had caught the killers, and her children were upset because they had hoped that she would still be alive. Um, and after the confession, though, an extensive search was conducted and a body was not recovered, even though all of David's victims had been found where they said they would be. Because the body was never found, the Courtneys were never charged with her murder. In like, I I know that conviction without a body is hard, but it sounds like from my side research, he had led them all exactly where the other bodies were.
And this
And
one,
this wasn't. And it's not uncommon for sometimes serial killers when they're getting in trouble to like almost want to have a higher body count is
to take
like
credit for
that's so
others.
uncomfortable to say, but it's like they wear that as some weird creepy badge of honor, and so they'll start taking credit for things that they didn't actually do.
But it also then makes the police think, is there more? So they always feel like they have
Yeah.
this power. Like if they can add another one, then to them it's a power
It's a
grab,
power
right?
grab. Exactly. And so, unfortunately, because they had some circumstantial evidence, they didn't have enough to charge them with that murder. And so, we're going to fast forward to 1990. We're 15 years post the disappearance. And something that we've seen before happens. Her daughter in law receives a phone call from a woman claiming to be Mary Ann's current best friend. She asked to speak with Mary Ann's oldest son, but he wasn't home. And Sean did not want to tell her that she was home alone. So she says that she will speak with him again. So she wouldn't give a bunch of details about who she was, but this woman basically claims that Mary Ann is being held captive by these people that took her 15 years ago. And she doesn't have the ability to call them and tell them where she's at. So she's doing it for her on her friend's behalf. And that their mom or her mother in law is still alive. And that she's very empathetic to the situation, but she would not be able to call again. And Mary Ann is not allowed to be anywhere where she has access to the phone and acts upset on the phone call and then hangs up on the daughter in law.
Do you think it was the Donna lady from prison?
I personally think it was.
I do too. I mean,
I
we have
think
no
she
way.
wanted to just re
She
victimize.
just wanted to
Yeah.
terrorize people.
So, of course, this call gives Mary Ann's family hope, right? Some were skeptical, but it just reignites that little tiny flicker that,
Well, here's the thing, they've never found their mom's body.
yeah.
So until that happens,
Hmm.
you can't ever really have full closure.
Yeah, so authorities believe that it's almost impossible that she might still be alive. However, her family clings to the fragile hope that David, who admits he had been heavily drinking and was intoxicated at the time, maybe didn't actually succeed in his attempt to strangle her. Her daughter, Sharon, hopes that he strangled her into unconsciousness, thought she was dead, and threw her out. Um, Wayne's hopes that she might have amnesia as a result of the attack and is living somewhere unaware of her true identity. So we're left with kind of these questions. Did Marianne survive this attack and is a victim of amnesia? Did David kill her? He's currently serving a life sentence for confessions of other murders. Um, but Marianne's family just really wants to find out what happened to her. So that's where Unsolved Mystery leaves us.
All right, update.
Okay. Good news, bad news situation here.
I mean, I think it's the news we all know.
Yeah.
Is
So it's solved. Okay. And in 2017, a cold case detective named J.T. Thornton, that's a cool name, re examined a Jane Doe case. Okay. So we're going to kind of take a different turn, a different look at this. On November 28th, 1976, 8 months after Marianne's disappearance, the remains of an unidentified woman were found by hunters in a cornfield near Grand Bay, Alabama, 25 miles southwest of Mobile, just across the Mississippi border. Many of the women's features matched Mary Ann's, and the physical characteristics of her jewelry and clothing that were found with the deceased were consistent with her stature and what she was last seen wearing. The remains were found in an area fitting with Courtney's account, with the explanation being that it was just across the Mississippi Alabama border as opposed to the Mississippi Louisiana border. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm. And in December 2017, Marion's family was informed of a potential match. In May 2018, Thornton tracked down the victim's remains to a warehouse in Oklahoma. The DNA samples from the victim were compared to one of Marianne's daughter. Donna, in November, the victim was positively identified as Marianne. Thornton forwarded the information to the Alabama Louisiana prosecutor in hopes to have charges filed against David for her murder. His wife, Donna, had since passed away at the time of all of this new stuff happening.
Okay, but let's not forget. Did you see? That lady was released
Yeah.
and then died shortly after her
Hmm.
release.
Yeah.
How did that
I was
lady
trying
get
to look up
free?
sometimes if someone is like almost in this potential to be in hospice, they can get released because of that.
Yeah, maybe that's a
And
good
I think that
point.
was more common back then, where it's just kind of like, we know you're going to die in the next couple of weeks. And so we're going to let you die somewhere not here. I,
I don't
I don't think that this woman deserved that, but
no.
yeah. So, according to the Kansas City Department of Corrections website, um, because I looked to see, because this was in 2018 that was going to potentially be more charges coming. But it appears that uh, the man died in December of 2022 before they were able, because nothing moves quickly through the courts,
Well,
right?
especially with such an
Yeah.
old
And
case.
so, like, that's what I'm saying. Good news, bad news. Good news, her remains have been found. Marianne, like, her family was able to identify her, put her to rest, at least have some information. Her body was found shortly after it. It appears that she was, her life was taken the night that they took her from that bar. Um, but now there's no one to file charges for or against because both the husband and wife
Are gone.
are gone.
Well, good riddance.
Well, yeah, and karma and or whatever afterlife you believe in, I'm sure they're getting their fair share of what they deserve now.
I hope so. Listen, I
No, this woman was just going out to grab a drink with her girlfriends. She was gonna leave it. She was leaving at 10 o'clock at night. It's not like.
I don't know. I'm glad the family finally got some closure. It's really sad that it took that long,
Hmm.
but good for that detective,
Yeah,
man.
it just seems like it was a weird sort of like
Well, they weren't looking in that
mischances. They weren't
state.
looking in that state, and then there was and I actually looked at the original unidentified um drawing that they had done of trying to do like a composite, because they obviously just found mostly skeletal remains.
Yeah.
They had a composite put together of the unidentified Jane Doe and put it out to several media sources in that state. It was actually incredible to see how much, if anyone from her family had seen that picture, the drawing, they would have known it was her, which shows like they definitely tried to ID this woman. And I'm grateful that they kept her remains and that that some cold case detective was doing his job and kind of put a few things together and was like, hey, this kind of fits.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Good job.
So at least they have some answers. Whoever made that call, whether it was the wife or some other psychopath, like, they're terrible human beings. I hope they cut their nails too short. I hope they always stub their pinky toe when it's cold. Like, I hope they always have a hole in their pants. Like, all of the most inconvenient things. Like, and that they never get a day's rest, because that is one thing. Learning more about true crime, I'm so many amazing good people. The world is full of good people. But the people that choose to do terrible things and deplorable things, it I am so lost and confused why people would, and it happens every missing person case. Every time multiple people try to like
I know.
bring terror to families that are going through some of the worst things that they'll ever go through.
I know. I don't understand. But
Right.
I thought this story would remind you. I thought you were going to tell the story from last night, but
Story from last night.
that's all right. We'll move on.
No. What story from last night?
All right, we'll move on.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Quick. I know. Sorry, guys. We'll tell the story. So last night, Ben and I went out to actually the country western bar that we enjoy going to, and one of our favorite bands was there. So we got there a little early, and we walked in and sat down. And we sat down, and Ben asked me if I wanted something to drink, and their French fries there are my favorite. So yeah, we always
Their French fries are so
so
good.
good. Right? So Ben leaves to go get us some drinks, Diet Coke, obviously.
Coke.
Yeah. And literally, Ben couldn't have been gone more than 12 seconds.
I was gone for like 2 minutes
No, I'm
tops.
talking about when the guy first interacted with me. Like,
Oh,
you had
okay.
literally just stepped away. We're just at a low top, and this is a country western bar with like a dance floor that's made for two-step, like couples dancing. You have to have a partner to dance with, right? You're not, it was not a club.
No,
And this,
it's a true Western country
yes.
bar.
And so this man stumbles over towards me, and he's a younger guy, and falls to the point where he almost knocks over my table. I have to catch the table.
It's 8:15.
It's 8:15 at night. My
Like, it's
Ben
not even late.
and Ben and I are regulars there. People know who we are.
We go
Half of them probably listening to this podcast are people that are regulars there that I've told about my podcast. So Ben's jacket's on his chair, and I'm sitting there like on my phone. And this guy's, and at first, my assumption was actually that maybe he knew you from work. And he sits down, and I can barely understand him. He's slurring his speech. And I just said to him, because I'm like, the quickest way to get this guy to go away is for me to inform him that I'm here with my husband. So I say, "You're sitting in my husband's seat." I wasn't putting up with this guy's, like, the moment I realized he wasn't come over to be like, "Hey, is that Ben?" I was like, "You're sitting in my husband's seat." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, where's your husband?" Like, he didn't believe me. He's getting aggressive with me immediately. And I was like, "He went to get me a drink." And literally only a minute later or 2 seconds later, you walk over. And Ben said he could tell instantly, like, I was not having it with this guy.
well, I walked up to him and I said, "You're in my seat.
Yeah.
Get up. Get up."
And then he started, I don't know. Anyways, he was annoying, made himself like hot, intoxicated, crossing multiple boundaries, making everyone uncomfortable. So
We
he
pretty
leaves.
much we told him. I
Get
said
out of
like
here.
it's time for you to leave.
Yeah. And so we go about our evening. We're having a good time. And a lot of women come to this bar for recreational country dancing. Because as long as you can follow, there are a handful of men that are there every weekend, and they dance with a different woman every time. Anyways, we're sitting there, and this very cute young girl has danced a few times with some of the regular guys, and she looks like she's having a great time, but she is there alone, you can tell. And Ben says something like, "Oh, that guy is talking to that girl." And so I had like a direct line of sight to her. And I'm looking up every few minutes, and he hasn't gone away, and he's getting closer and closer to her. And I turn to Ben, and I'm like, "Something's wrong." And Ben's like, "What?" I'm like, "You can tell by her body language, her
You
face."
could.
And he is like getting closer and closer and closer to her. And like almost like, yeah, anyway, so I like literally just got up. I was like, "I'll be right back." Ben has my back. I know if anything goes wrong, he's gonna be aware of what's happening. And I go up, and I just pretend like I know the girl. I'm like, "Hey, oh my gosh." Like, and I make eye contact with her. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Give me a hug." And you could tell either immediately, either A, this girl's throwing me a lifeline, or B, I'm going to take a lifeline, even if this girl does actually think that she knows me. And I put my arms around her, and I went to give her a hug. And so in her ear, I was like, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" And she's like, "Yes, I need help." And I was like, "Awesome. Actually, come to the bathroom with me." And I was like, "We don't know him an explanation. Let's go." We got to the bathroom. She like started crying because she was so scared.
Well, this guy, he was just
He was saying things that
he was saying things in her
he
ear
was
that
sexually
was
assaulting her that way. Like he
yeah.
was being a predator. Anyways, long story short, women should be allowed to go and have a good time and not have to worry about men. But like this is that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
that this guy, like, he was yeah, it was too bad. Thankfully, everything was okay,
Well, it's
but
just and I told Ben, I said, it's just a reminder. If you see something, you either say something or you act. If a woman looks uncomfortable, no one's gonna care, female to female, if you come up and be like, "Hey, you good?" And I even told Ben, I was like, the other thing that women will attempt to do if they're in a situation is they may even go up to a man that looks just level headed. Maybe he's bigger, maybe he's whatever, but he looks safe and act like they are married or boyfriend or girlfriend, or like in a relationship with that person. Be like, "Oh my gosh, actually, my husband just walked over here. Hi, husband." Like, so I told Ben, I was like, "You should always just be aware that if some woman ever says something casual like that, just play along with it until you like make sure everyone's safe and okay." Because sadly, it is men like that as to why women have to be careful and this story makes me sad. I hope her family has been able to go on, and I'm glad that they got some answers. I'm grateful for cold case detectives out there doing the work. And ugh. All right, Ben.
alright, I'm gonna be quick on this one. This is
Okay.
just a con man, alright? We're gonna get the con man of a guy that says he's Dr. John Anderson, alright? Man by the name of John Anderson, he walks into a coin dealer. Guy, and this is in Cincinnati. This dealer, Mike Willis, he goes in, he's chatting with him, says, "Oh, yeah, I'm a doctor at the local children's hospital. Look at me, I'm awesome." And so they get to know each other and, whatever. So then he calls up this Mike guy later and says, "Hey, man, we talked, we did a little bit of business. I got to place a big order for coins, $30,000 worth of gold coins. And hey, this is for an investment like group at the hospital." Okay, weird, but whatever. So he says, "Hey, can you bring the coins and talk to my investment group and bring the coins? We'll purchase them and you can give us all the lowdown." He's like, "Okay, sure." He's like, So November 26th, he goes to the hospital. He meets this Dr. John Anderson and he's in a white trench coat. He meets him in the elevator and says, "All right, man, let's just go down here. It's early in the morning. It's 8 a.m. He goes, "Let's just go. We'll take a look at it. We'll talk, and then we'll go up to this meeting we're going to have." So he takes him in there, and the Mike shows him all the coins. Like, "Here you go. Here's these coins." He's like, "Great. I'll put them up in the safe. I'll grab your check, and then we'll go to the meeting." He's like, "Okay." So Dr. John Anderson walks out of the room with $30,000 worth of gold coins. Well, Mike realizes after a few minutes, uh-oh.
He gone.
I might have made a mistake. I just let this guy walk out. And this is like a children's hospital.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he kind of let his guard down there. Goes to the receptionist, like, "Hey, can
Well,
you?"
because he had done like that's the thing. This wasn't his
He
first
would come in
time.
and do a little bit of
Yeah.
business that,
There was
s-
a little bit of trust there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes to the receptionist, like, "Hey, can you page Dr. John Anderson?" She goes, "Listen, we don't have a doctor by that name." He's like, "Are you sure?"
That was the moment that his butt fell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got hoodwinked.
Can you imagine the way your pits would tingle the moment?
Yeah. I mean,
I
what do
would
you do?
vomit and need deodorant immediately.
So he realizes, okay, crap. So what did I say? That was that was in 1986, November of 1986. So a couple years later, 3 years later, we get told about a doctor by the name of Alfred Evans. He goes into a coin shop in Albany, New York. Okay. He does the same thing. He's making small talk. He's making little purchases. He's building this trust with the dealer called Wendell Williams. And he's like, hey, he does a little business here and there. He comes in every once in a while, chitty chat, whatever. Seems like a nice guy. So then he says, hey, Wendell, man, I need to buy $45,000 worth of gold coins. And Wendell's like, yeah, okay. Well, he says like he faxed it or he like faxed an order over there. And the guy's like, yeah, I'm not going to buy that much until I kind of know. So then he comes in, is like, hey, man, do you got my order? He's like, no, I don't. So then I guess he does order it. It's kind of confusing how they tell it, but he comes in, he's like, listen, I need that order. He's like, okay, well, I need the money. He's like, well, I got a check. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to take a check, dude. So, but then Wendell gets distracted by another customer. So he grabs the gold because I guess he just left it out on the counter.
I mean, here's the thing. He had a little bit of trouble. And I think he's like, I'm in my own place of business. And here's the thing, he hadn't finished the full conversation with him yet. He had said, like, I can give you a check. And he's like, no, I'm not. And they were kind of in the middle of like trying to figure that
Negotiating
out.
this.
Yeah, like, okay.
So he gets distracted with another customer. There's another customer there, and he just turns to him and says, hey, man, slides him this check and says, make sure he gets it, and takes the gold and walks out. He gone.
Bye-bye.
All right. So we get a picture of him that supposedly, so he's surfaced many of times under multiple different aliases. We get a picture of him from some bank still that they have. He's a bigger dude and they're looking for him. So Unsolved Mystery says, we're looking for this
We're
guy.
looking for him.
All right. Are you ready for your update?
Update.
Update. Captured. The man by the name of Michael John Sabo. Okay. He was a fugitive. He escaped federal prison in 1979 and had been on the run for like 13 years. He was caught in January 20th, 1992. They arrested him in a motel in Roanoke, Virginia after a viewer tip.
Viewer tip once again.
So I did do some digging into this guy.
Okay.
He actually he runs a business right now.
Shut up.
Yeah. So and he did an interview. I read the whole
The con
article.
man?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Did he turn his life around?
Supposedly, yeah. So he gets sentenced. He does 14 years. Not
Whoa.
like he does quite a bit of time
That's a chunk of time.
across federal and state. He gets moved around because he was like he impersonated an IRS
Oh,
agent.
sure.
Like he done some
He
crazy
didn't go
things.
small on his
And I did find
things.
out originally he had been sentenced in the 70s to like larceny, theft, everything that he's already been doing his whole life. So I'm trying to pull up the article. I got so many things open right now. So there's an article, but like now he wants to fight crime. So he did an article. He finally got out of prison in 2009. And he was in his 60s and he said, listen, I actually want to help people. I want to help people not fall victim to what I was doing my whole life. So he helps people, at least back then, I bet especially
So we're
identity
saying
theft.
if you can't do, you teach.
You
He
teach.
can't be a con man anymore because it's illegal. I mean, it was always illegal, but he was like, I don't want to go back to prison, but this is the only skill I have.
Yeah.
So instead of doing the con, I'm going to teach people how to not get conned by people like me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of what he does. He's not, I don't know how well his business is doing. I found its website. I don't have it open right now, but so yeah, he supposedly he got out. He stayed out of trouble. He hasn't gone back to prison. So he did his time. I mean, I don't think anyone really got their monies back, but
Yeah, I wonder if he had to pay any, what was it, reprimand or whatever they call
restitution.
it? Restitution, yeah.
I don't know. He got shipped around. He would do some time, and then he get shipped to different states where he'd done it and did a bunch of time. But yeah, anyways, that's your con man. Got caught.
Well, that was weird. Sorry, my Instagram was open. Um, okay. All right. Well, yeah. I will be honest, I didn't see that coming. I mean, like, how many convents have we covered and they never like decide I'm gonna turn my life around?
Well, it usually come in like they drop off the grid, right? Where
Well,
you
yeah,
can
this guy
never
changed his
find
name
him.
multiple times. So like that's what they're good at.
Prison Consultants of America.
Prison Consultants of America. Okay.
PCA offers specialty customized guidance to each client. Prison Consultants of America team compromise defense attorneys and former
Not
federal.
sponsored by this company, but we're just gonna apparently give him a huge shout out. So
Yeah, so that's supposedly his business.
okay. Well, cool. If he's listening and ever wants to come on the podcast, I'd love to interview him.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Okay. All
So
right. Well, let's end this night, shall we, on a fun one. Another haunted house.
this one's
Ooh. It is
weird.
weird, but haunted houses are my favorite thing. You guys, I love haunted houses.
Like Halloween haunted houses.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with them. I would, if I had the time and the resources, every October, I would travel all over America just to go to the top haunted houses. Like here, okay, new content creator idea. You are a travel blogger, but you only travel to haunted houses and you recap or you like showcase the best haunted houses in America.
I'm sure people
I'm
do.
sure they do, but they're living my dream. I have so many
If you, I
dreams.
was gonna say, if you guys knew all of Sierra's dreams,
The best part is I'm actually super happy in my life too. Like I have no desire, but I freaking love haunted houses. And anyone that goes to haunted houses with me, I'm a hoot because
scare easy.
I scare easy. Expect jump scare. But like, yeah, anyways. Scary movies, haunted houses, my favorite things. I've never really spent time in a quote unquote real haunted house. I don't know how I do with ghosts. I've seen some scary movies that I wouldn't want to be a part of. But we are going to start our story back in the 1970s. A Virginia woman named June Ferris starts having dreams about walking through a house she did not recognize. In the dream, she'd walk down the stairs out into the porch, feeling in deep within her bones that something important was about to happen. And every time, right before that moment, she'd wake up just on the verges of discovering what that was. And okay, I have extremely vivid dreams. And I have reoccurring dreams of the same locations, same people. I can feel emotions in my dreams. I can smell things in my dreams. I've eaten food in my dreams and tasted it. I felt pain in my dreams. Like I can read text and numbers in my
That's
dreams.
weird.
Yeah. I dream in color. Like
See, and I
there are
don't.
even times when I've been able to dream, realizing that I'm dreaming, stay awake. And then there's this trick that if you
And then
can
you
like,
go into another dream.
I've had dreams within
You and
dreams too, but there's a trick.
Leonardo DiCaprio's there.
Well, 17-year-old Sierra, I'm sure, had lots of dreams about Leonardo DiCaprio. Um, but there's a trick where if you're dreaming and you can keep yourself from staying awake and you can turn to your left and make a full turn, 360 turn, you've then realized that you're dreaming and you've kind of taken control. You're laughing, but this is a true thing. And then at that point, you can manipulate the dream space. And I've been able to do that as
It just
well.
reminds me of like, um, what's the one with Ben Stiller where he's the model? He's like, I can't turn to the left.
Ugh. Ben doesn't understand. I find dreaming fascinating. I used to have a dream journal that I'd write my dreams down. And then I even got like a dream like decoder dictionary where you could look up keywords and then you kind of put them together. And I try to keep track of like different things that like I was either focusing on or paying attention to. Anyways, my ethereal girlies out there, all my other Pisces girls in water science will understand.
I don't dream.
Yeah.
I mean, I know everyone dreams, but I don't I literally have
Rarely do you remember your
0
dreams.
dreams that I can remember, and if I do remember, I can barely remember any detail. It's the most
Mhm.
basic things. I will literally have one dream every couple years that I remember,
Yeah.
tops, and usually within a couple weeks, I forget it.
Yeah. And so at the start of the story, I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, I've had reoccurring dreams of places I've never been before either. So the dreams, according to her, did finally stop at about 4 years later when June and her husband moved to Florida. After 2 years of living in and around the Orlando area, June was driving through Claremont and felt drawn to a house that she passed. When June toured the house with hopes of buying it, she started to experience an odd sensation. Immediately after stepping inside, she and a friend were walking through. She began feeling deja vu very intensely. And then she came to a staircase that she began going down in her dreams for years.
Has anyone actually ever, like, solved deja vu?
No, but I
Because
that
we've
is a
all
fascinating
I
thing.
have had deja vu, and
Yeah.
it is
It is a to explain to someone, and I don't know, maybe there are people out there that have never had it, but if you have had it, you're like, I know I have experienced this exact scenario before.
and that is one thing you're gonna get me to believe in,
Do
deja
you
vu.
think deja vu maybe has anything to do with parallel timelines? I mean, we're
I don't even know what you mean
okay.
by
So
that, but
scientifically, the like string theory and different things like that. Okay, let's even look at Stranger Things as like the
I'm already
most
lost.
the possibility that we exist on multiple several versions of us explain on multiple different
No.
levels of time or anything at all like
No,
that.
that I don't know. No. No, 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 no.
That's like you're getting wait. He's like, I gave you deja vu and you had to take it to the
Yeah, I
next
was gonna
level,
say, like,
Sierra.
I literally threw you a lifeline here, and you are now trying to take a mile. I gave you an inch, you're
Okay,
taking a
Ben
mile.
believes in deja vu
I
because you've
believe in the
experienced it.
phenomenon of deja vu. With the
Phenomenon.
explanation of it, I have no idea, but it is wild.
Okay. But you don't have any like maybe it's connected to this
Nah.
or reincarnation
Oh,
or
heck no.
okay. All right. Well, there we go. Guys, I tried. Sorry. Instead of being scared, like you might expect, June described this experience as feeling like she had come home. Have you ever had that experience where you're somewhere and you're like, I feel like home here? Does that make like, have you ever traveled or been somewhere you were not even like, well, like, quote unquote, I've been here before, but like this place feels like home to me? I know you have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah. I felt it in New York City.
Yeah,
And I even said to you, the moment we landed in New York and got in the taxi, we were driving from JFK to
LaGuardia. We flew into
or
La
LaGuardia. Oh, I flew in with JFK, I think, with my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I flew into LaGuardia. When I flew into LaGuardia, got in the taxi and we're driving down whatever highway or whatever you have to get into New York City. And I saw like the skyline, it was late, the sun was setting. And I literally said to you, this place feels like home to me. And I hadn't even like stepped foot into the heart of the city yet. And every time I go to New York, that place feels like home to me. So I do get that phenomenon as well. Okay.
Phenomena.
Phenomenon. So they actually decide to buy the house, which I just think is crazy. So March 1978, Junior family moved into the house and they soon begin experiencing strange phenomenon. Phenomenon. Ben
Phen
left me hanging on that one. Sorry, guys. While they were unpacking, their boat hitch lifted itself off the stand in the driveway multiple times. And then another thing, one night her daughter Robin and son-in-law David were upstairs sleeping, and they depict David. He wakes up his wife in bed and is like freaked out. And they even say something in the Unsolved Mysteries that like David was terrified of this house. Like he was freaked out. And it seemed like the women in this story kind of like didn't feel a scary sense of presence or eeriness, but the men involved in this house were like not having it. So he wakes his wife up because he's freaked out because they're hearing music, like creepy, like dee, 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 right? Turns out that this full grown woman, Robin, has multiple
Clowns.
music box, dolls, and toys and clowns that all like you can crank and like move. And so I'm like, been I literally turned around, I was like, "Can you imagine if when we first got married, I'd shown up or you'd shown up, I guess you moved into my apartment and like we're getting ready to go to bed and I like start pulling out my dolls and clowns and music boxes."
I'm out.
Anyways, they had started playing, multiple of them start playing all by themselves. Okay. That is freaky. And then in 1985, June's daughter Lori and her boyfriend Bob were watching TV when they heard the back door slam. And then after hearing the door slam, they heard several heavy footsteps walking behind them. So Bob gets up, obviously, to investigate because, he's the boyfriend, has got up here real tough. He finds nobody there. The Ferris family was convinced that the house was haunted. However, for several years, they didn't actually see anything physical. Then one day, Robin is walking up the stairs and felt a cold chill. She encountered the ghost of a man in his 30s walking down the stairs. Why is that funny?
Nearly headless Nick just walked right
Nearly
through.
headless Nick.
Just walked right through her.
So she says that she also sees the figure, like a very prominent figure. Like she said, it was you could see, like you could tell it wasn't a physical human, but she sees a man. You look 90 right now with your glasses on like that. 3 months later, boyfriend Bob is going up to the attic says to get some paint, and he encounters a vapor style spirit that shot through him. And the reenactment
It was actually.
was incredible. It reminded me of, have you ever seen the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze?
I've seen parts. I don't know
Dude,
if I've actually
when
seen
the
the whole
actual
thing.
like spirits, spoiler alert, at the end come out and like attack the bad guy, um, the CGI, because it wasn't
Who's the bad guy in that movie?
the business partner or something like that. He killed Patrick Swayze.
Uh,
Patrick Swayze's murdered at the beginning of the movie.
I didn't know that.
And then Whoopi Goldberg is a psychic and he enters Whoopi
Whoopi
Goldberg's
Goldberg.
body.
I know that.
And the best part is then they show this beautiful scene where they're like making pottery together. And then as an adult, you watch it and you realize if he was putting himself into Whoopi Goldberg's body, it was actually Whoopi and this young girl,
So wasn't it Demi Moore in
Debbie
that one?
Moore, hot, beautiful woman, but young. So that means that in reality, Whoopi was actually the one behind her making pottery with her. Did I just ruin that whole movie for you?
Well, I didn't really watch the movie and I don't care
Okay.
about it.
But you know that scene I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, we all know that
Yeah, but
scene.
he wasn't real.
Yes,
It was his
I got
spirit.
that.
He was inhabiting the body of Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a bad guy in it.
Yeah, he's murdered. Okay.
I didn't know he was murdered.
All right.
He could have just
So
died in a car accident.
due to this, no, he wants his wife to solve this murder
All
for
right,
him.
well, let's get
Okay.
back to the other ghost story,
In
not the
1985,
Hollywood one.
after Bob is shot through the heart
No.
with a vapor style spirit, and thinks I'm insane.
It reminded me of the scene in
Did
Harry
you just
Potter
okay?
where the first one, where you're
I
like,
needed you to pick up on the song lyrics. I was laying down.
I didn't hear. What did you
I
say?
said shot through the heart. And then
Shot through the heart.
and I said, and then he thought he was going insane. He started to research the house and learn
You give love a
a
bad
bad name.
name.
And started learning about the former owner. You guys buckle up because this is going to take a weird turn. Not that the night hasn't already gone weird for all the people involved in this
I think
podcast.
people have stopped listening
I know.
now.
You guys, I told you silly goose time because we have fun stories to talk about. The former owner had been gunned down
But
in the back driveway of his house. That's not the unsolved mystery we're going to talk
that's
about.
the best part. This is an unsolved mystery, but that's not what we want to talk
No,
about.
I'm almost actually done with my story. In 1975, John Harden moved into the home with his second wife and their Infant son, we have no age on the son, and that's going to be important. One
I
night,
think Sierra went down a lot of
okay,
rabbit
here's the thing.
holes.
The Unsolved Mysteries says that he wakes up in the night to the smell of smoke. That's actually not true. I'm going to tell you like Unsolved Mysteries. We'll go over the details. So, according to Unsolved Mysteries, this man moves into this house with his second wife and their young child. One night, he is awoken out of a dead sleep to the smell of smoke, looks out his window to find his vehicle, his truck, has been set on fire. He runs down the stairs, which is where the connection between this ghost and this woman's dreams. We've got a ghost, we've got dreams, and we've got like a house, right? All connecting. And we're going to connect the dots that this scenario of this man running down the stairs out the back porch is the
The
dream.
back stairs. There's
The
two
back stairs, there's two
stairways.
sets of stairs that this is the dream that the woman has been having about this house since before she moved to Florida. See how the triangle there that I'm
Technically,
connecting?
before this even happened to him,
Oh yeah, you are right. Okay.
according to her.
So he runs down the back stairs, tries to put out the fire, and at that point is shot in the chest with a 20 gauge shotgun, and the killer has never been caught. So we've got a ghost that's an unsettled ghost haunting a house, maybe trying to help get his case solved. He and June had found that John had gone down the same staircase she went in her dreams before he was killed. She believes that he's trying to help him solve help him by her solving his murder. It is believed that he still remains in the house, restless and awaiting justice. Fun fact, strange activity was reported by the show Unsolved Mysteries when they went to film on
Robert
location.
Stack does tell us.
Robert Stack is well known to be a skeptic. Maybe not as much of a skeptic as Ben is, but on a lot of these, but he kind of makes a little tongue in cheek at several of these stories that we have heard from in the past.
Yeah.
He does come on with this one and be like, hey, there was something weird that we personally experienced while there, including an upstairs attic window shattered for no apparent reason.
He says lights flickered.
Yeah.
He said equipment malfunctioned.
They had several problems while trying to film at the location of the house.
And here's the thing. I will at least, if Robert Stack says it, that's a reliable source.
Yeah, I
He
agree.
doesn't even say it was ghosts. He just says, listen,
He says
all I'm
something
saying
happened.
is something weird happened.
Yeah.
That's all I know, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and that's kind of where Unsolved Mystery leaves us. Okay. Update. You ready?
Born ready.
All right. Technically still unsolved. I mean,
Shocking.
according to the current owners of the home, who were actually the ones that called Unsolved Mysteries to tell them about the story, was not June and her husband. Another man and his wife have since purchased the home. And he's in film or music production or something. He does something in production, I think, in the music industry. The ghostly activities have basically come to a halt. Around 1992, they stopped having any major experiences. Um, and they don't really have any explanation of the things that were happening. No evidence had ever been found as to why the things happened. And the murder
That's shocking.
of John Harden is still unsolved and
That's
took me down a like 3.5 hour rabbit hole.
That's the real unsolved mystery. Here.
Yeah, so not to get on too much of a tangent, there is still an unsolved mystery of a man named John Harden that I have a lot of questions for, and I'm just going to briefly give them to you. In this story of Unsolved Mysteries, John's ex wife is interviewed. We find out that John was married for 14 years
14
to
years.
his high school sweetheart,
Had 4 kids.
4 kids, came home one day to his wife, wrapped his arms around her waist, and according to her, they had a very happy, loving, great relationship in their marriage.
I would say that too.
Wraps his arms around his wife and says, I love you so much and I'm so sorry. I can't tell you, but I have to leave for a little while to work some things out."
AKA, I might be having an affair and she might be pregnant with another kid.
And she might be like 12 years younger than
And she
me.
might be very much younger than you.
Okay,
But I don't want to tell you
I
that.
could not find any sources to verify 90% of anything else that we are told, because we are told by Unsolved Mysteries that this is his second wife
And they had a kid
and
together.
they had a kid together, and that this was a house that they inherited, that
She
she
inherited.
inherited from her family.
The Trail Went Cold does an episode
Yeah, I was gonna say
on
the
this
Trail
guy
Went
and this
Cold does an episode specifically on his murder because of the lack of information on the TV show Unsolved Mysteries.
because they just dropped this bombshell and
And you
then
guys,
leave
when
it.
I tell you that I went to public record website for Orange County, Florida, and looked up death, marriage certificates, divorce certificate, like divorce filings, affidavit of disclosures, home deeds, probate court. I spent hours researching. I cannot find a single trace of evidence of this man ever having a second marriage. He was never, at least according to everything paper-wise, was never legally married to this woman that I can find to verify. And I cannot find
Well,
a
maybe he
single
didn't legally marry
and I
her.
cannot find a single birth certificate with a child with his name attached to it that's not one of his four kids. I think two of them are deceased and two of them are still alive today. Even on all of the ancestry and DNA and genealogy websites, it still lists him as only ever having been married once with four children. He does not have a fifth child attached to him on any website.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I think there is a much deeper story here.
There's a mystery here.
Well, and the murder weapon was found thrown in the bushes next to the house.
Sierra has a
I
theory.
have a theory. And I guess since I haven't said her name, I can say I have a feeling. I have a theory. This man obviously had some problems going on. He had an ex-wife who spoke still even after he pulled this
Well, he
stunt
just left this
on
lady and his four kids.
well, and according to the timelines that I could find, at least of the things that I could verify, which was only his divorce and his death, between the time that his divorce paperwork was filed and his death date was 14 months. And in that 14 months, according to everyone that I can find, he was married, had a child, and had moved into a new house and started a new business.
Yeah, but they could have been separated for a year or a year and a
I
half
understand, but since there's
before
no
the
information on
divorce was
anything,
finalized.
yeah.
Yes, no, I
But
get
that
what you're
child could
saying.
have also been 18 months old
We
for
have
all we
no
know.
idea.
Yeah.
And now no one can even find a record that this kid existed and was attached to this guy.
Yeah.
Which then makes me think
I just want to
who's
know if that wife or the ex-wife.
well, there's technically two ex-wives
That's what
here.
there's two ex-wives.
Well, there's a widow
Mhm,
and
and
an
an ex-wife
ex-wife.
who maybe realized that he wasn't a good guy. I'm like, was he thinking about going back with his ex?
I don't know.
I don't know. Because I also found out that his like one of his children, like he still had young kids at home. It wasn't like they'd only been married 14 years and had four kids. So he left an entire family at home.
But also, he wasn't killed in the middle of the night. He was killed at 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah, because
right after they had all gotten home from
that was
something
the other
as a
thing.
family
They had gone to do a last minute repair. His business was an air conditioner repair and refrigerator or something. So he had a
for
buddy that
restaurants.
he needed a buddy. He had a buddy that had a restaurant that a piece of the fryer had broken, and this man happened to have a part for it. So he drove it to the restaurant, and he took his whole family with him. And the phone lines had been cut. I don't know if they mentioned that in Unsolved Mysteries either.
No.
So they got back to the house. I don't know what happened on that car ride. They got back to the house, and he was not in bed. The wife went to put the child to bed, and he got in the shower because in the earliest news reports, because I paid for a newspaper subscription and found newspaper articles from the day after he was murdered. He was found naked. He ran out from the shower and his car was on fire. And then he was shot in the chest,
Point blank.
point blank, face to face. And then the gun was tossed into the bushes. And she didn't call 911 because the things were, it was a neighbor who saw the fire. And there was multiple, like, there was a tennis court and like an athletic facility and a water dock and stuff because it's Florida. It's 11 o'clock at night. I guess there was a handful of like sports activities and clubs and like little things going on. There's not a single witness of anyone fleeing the scene.
Did they flee the scene?
But this woman, has scrubbed herself,
She doesn't exist.
doesn't exist. Her name
And her kid doesn't
and her kid
exist.
doesn't exist. And I'm just saying,
Who goes
who
there?
goes that far and refused to go on Unsolved Mysteries?
I don't know.
Yeah. Just
Maybe Unsolved Mysteries couldn't find her.
no, I read later that they had found her and she refused to be interviewed.
Interesting.
So there you go. All right, guys. We've actually been chatting for a while.
Uh-oh.
I know.
She was giving me that look.
Well, I feel bad. We had 4 stories and we've had some.
You realize you feel bad, but at any time people can turn it off.
I guess you could.
Like we're not like holding people hostage. Like we don't have a gun to their
We are
head.
holding you guys all hostage. We have
Like
all
no one is
tapped
holding
in.
a gun to anyone's head here and saying you have to keep listening. Oh, the cat.
The cat's also telling us it's time to be done because
I can see him. I can see him on the bottom of the door.
he thinks that I'm in here without him, and that is not allowed in cat world. Okay, guys. Well, that is our recap of season 4, episode 7. Sorry that we went a little bit long. However, it was a really
2
fun
ghost stories.
episode, and really only one kind of sad
Okay, but
one.
do you
We had to have
think the
3
house
fun
is
ones.
haunted
Um,
by him?
so
By
that was
Joe?
the other thing. People thought that was, I guess, the question. Was this man haunting the place? I don't think so. I think it was an old house. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Whoa.
I mean, the dreams were
Seared.
weird. I think it's maybe there's some weird thread there, maybe, but yeah, I don't really think that house was haunted. I think this woman had reoccurring dreams. And is it possible that she somehow saw this house in her dreams and then dude, I have a reoccurring dream about a home that I'm in and I'm excited to live in because it's like my dream house. If I ever walked into a house and had like that would freak me out.
And then you call me and say we have to buy this house.
Yeah, there'd be no choice in the matter. And
no
once that
choice.
happens, I'll report back to you guys. But until that does, I just think this was a handful of weird things. I'm sad that this guy's murder hasn't been solved. Eh, it's weird. I have more questions about who did this. Was this woman's family prominent in this community because the police kind of didn't really do it? Like I would like to pull on that thread more than I would the haunted house story. But I don't know.
Let's pull some threads.
All right. That's it. For those who don't want to hang around for me and Ben's question, because you've been hanging out with us for 90 minutes now, and we appreciate you,
Yeah.
leave us a review and then exit stage left. Okay. Ben, do you feel like if you did not sleep, you would miss it or you would be more productive?
We kind of had this.
Have I already asked you that question?
We've had this question
Okay.
not too long ago. It was like, I think it was, would you rather?
Not have to sleep or not have to eat, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then here. Let's see if I'll edit that out. I may or may not. But then I'll ask you this up. And these are ones I've stored in here. If you needed help hiding a body, who would you call?
Oh, I got lots of people I would call.
Okay.
And
you don't have to like.
I'm not going to name him.
Yeah.
But I got a buddy. I think he might listen to this podcast. He'll know who I am. We've even said to each other, I got a buddy. I've known him for 20 plus years. Um,
Is he from Oregon?
no, he lives in Oregon now. He's not from there, but we met in Indiana when I
Oh,
lived
yeah.
out in
He does
Indiana.
listen to this podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
and
he will message me the moment he hears this because he's going to be really excited.
and
Yeah.
we've told each other, if you it's there's some movie with Ben Affleck or whatever, and it's like, I need your help. I
You
need you to
can't
help
ask any
me.
questions.
Don't
Yeah.
ask any questions. Are you in? Absolutely.
Hmm.
He's that friend. Um, I would call him and say, I need you down here. No questions asked, and I need you here tomorrow. He would do it.
Yeah.
And if he called me, 100%. Here's the thing. This is this is a weird question, but at the end of the day,
This is obviously all hypothetical.
absolutely. But
Yes.
I also have a buddy at work we were partners for years,
Hmm.
and that man would help me hide just about anything.
Yeah.
That
He
he
would.
would.
Yeah.
So and I've got multiple friends like that, and I am blessed to have some good buddies that we could hide some secrets with each other
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. You guys could. I'd
Like,
probably call them too if I
they would
needed help. Yeah.
never rat me out, and
No.
I would never rat them out.
No. And you guys have such extensive knowledge too that no one would ever find the the secrets.
So
Yeah.
I got some good friends.
Yeah.
I got some good friends.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
Um, well, I'd call you because you know insane locations. Like locations that people maybe don't go to ever. Uh and then yeah, I've got a couple my best friend that lives here in Tucson. We've been through adult life together. And if I called her and was like, I need you to do something and you can't ask any questions, she'd be like, okay. She's one of my ride or die. So yeah, I have a couple. If I needed to plan something crazy, I've got an entire like podcast group of women who this is all we do is true crime. And so it's like either yeah, if we wanted to commit the perfect quote unquote crime, like the typical, book or story, that's who I'd pick their brain as far as that. But I don't know. There's also part of me, like I've done so much true crime stuff that if I ever needed to hide a body, I probably wouldn't call anybody because dead men tell no tales.
Dead man tell no tales.
Exactly. All right,
Great,
guys.
great movies.
It's such a great movie. And every time I
All of
watch it,
them
it
are
makes me
great
just want to go to
movies.
Disneyland.
All of them are just
Yeah.
great movies.
All right, everyone. Well, that is a wrap. And we are excited for you guys to be back again with us next week where Ben and I recap another episode of
Unsolved Mysteries.
Bye.